Hey guys, what's going on? It is Filmington, and today we're going to be doing a 38 card PSA reveal. I just got these cards back from Dustin Bellinger, who's on YouTube. Check him out. He does a great job with these bulk submissions. He's got his own Facebook group, very reasonable rates, and he's extremely trustworthy. So check out my man, Dustin Bellinger. Now, all of these cards that I'm going to be showing off will actually be available during tomorrow's live baseball card auction. This is the first time I'm going to be doing a live baseball card auction on my channel. It's going to be at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, February 19th. A portion of proceeds, at least $300, we're going to be raising, are going to be going towards fellow YouTuber Pepino Man. We're going to be trying to allow him to get to the National for the second year in a row. Great guy, tremendous asset to this community. And there's going to be free shipping at the auction, which is a little bit different than how many of the other YouTube auctions are run. So hopefully that entices people to bid and buy up all sorts of goodies. And the cards that'll be available will be not just slabs, but some singles, rookie cards, autographs, Bowman Chrome prospects, Topps flagship rookies, all stuff like that. It will be almost 100% modern baseball, I would say. If you've watched my videos, you kind of understand what I'm into. So that's going to be extremely exciting. So let's get started with this PSA reveal. Again, 38 cards. And I looked at these grades for the most part already. So I did okay. I could have done a little bit better. This is a card that I did not expect a 10 on. Just thought it would look pretty cool slabbed. And I thought I had an outside chance at a 10. As you can see, it's not really well centered from top to bottom. 2014 Topps Red Hot Foil, Jose Ramirez. Hopefully he has a bounce back year. Kind of everything possible went wrong for him last year. We did see somewhat of a rebound in the second half. Next up is Matt Chapman, 2017 Topps Update. In a previous order, I think I submitted 5 of these and I went 4 for 5 on 10s. And I got a 10 here. Now this is an example of a card that certainly has gone down quite a bit. More so in PSA 10 form versus raw form. And it's just because with a lot of these mass-produced base copies of cards, you kind of have to be one of the first ones with the 10, or else the market gets flooded with them as more and more get submitted, pulled out of dime boxes, etc. So there was a great amount of downward pressure on these 10s and on the raw cards after more and more got submitted. So I will take that, though. He is a great player, and I think he's not going to get any worse. Next up, Josh Bell, 2017 Topps Series 1. This is his rainbow foil. Got this in a PSA 10. Picked this up raw for about 15 bucks. So I kind of, timed it wrong, and it doesn't help when PSA has these long turnaround times. And second half, Josh Bell's performance starts to slip, and by the time I get this back, it's like nobody ever remembered the guy and what he did in the first half. Even his 2019 numbers, I believe, he was close to 40 home runs. So still probably about 27, maybe 28 years old, a little bit one-dimensional, not in the best market, but he did some crazy things last year, and he might do the same this year. We'll see. Next up, Juan Soto. Picked this up at the National, number to 99. Wasn't happy with the way it was handled by the seller after I agreed to the purchase price. He slipped it into a penny sleeve in front of me, and he struggled in doing so, and I was afraid that he nicked one of the lower corners, but ended up getting that 10. This is a card that the base version of this probably sells for between $20 to $40 depending on the day. There was a comp north of 200 bucks on this specific card, which I think is a little high. It was a bin from a month or two ago, but I will take anything close on this card, and I am definitely happy. Juan Soto's stock has increased tremendously overall since when I submitted these cards back in like September, or back in August, when I started to at least look at cards and considering them for grading. So I'll take that. Next up, we got a Jared Goff score. This was given to me in a bonus pack. I don't usually break football, but there was a bonus pack. I think I bought something from Steel City and ended up getting the Goff. He was coming off a Super Bowl loss, but he had been in the Super Bowl, and he did perform quite well in the 2018-2019 season. Now he's slipped quite a bunch. I bet this isn't worth a whole lot. Bowman 51, Jeff convinced me to submit that. So at first I didn't think I'd get the 10, but happy to get the 10 there. Next up, we got a Christian Yelich 2013 Topps Update Rookie Base. Oh, sorry. This is actually the Topps Chrome, and I got a PSA 8 on this. Did not expect the 10. At the time of the National, when I picked this up, though, PSA 9s are going for actually in like the mid 70 range. They've come down quite a bit as they have with the flagship. This I didn't ever expect to get a 10 on. It's got a bad corner, probably a surface scratch too. So a little upset that I got the 8, but that's okay, guys. You'll see that I made up for it later with some of the mid-end cards. Next up, and I believe that's the only 8 in this order. Next up, we got a Cody Bellinger rated rookie. This is the Don Russ from 2017 Optic Hollow. And we got a 10 on this, so pretty happy about that. Nice shine to it, although it is a Don Russ card. I picked it up in a lot. I usually wouldn't seek out Don Russ cards. Next up, we've got a few Topps Update Cody Bellingers. This is the first one. We got a PSA 10 on this. I think this was pulled out of a jumbo box. I think I opened 2 of the 2017 Topps Update jumbo boxes, and I did pretty well on both of them, actually. The second one, I think I got 2 of these Bellingers. I got a 9 on this one, unfortunately. So one of the corners is probably showing a little bit of white. Not terribly surprised by that. And then from my buddy B-Roth6, Brian Roth, I picked up 3 of the HMT 10 Topps Chrome updates from 2017 of Cody Bellinger. He had 5. I thought I picked out the best 3 of the bunch. Now, unfortunately, as was the theme with the Matt Chapman flagship rookie that I showed right out of the gate, these cards have seen a tremendous amount of downward pressure as well. It's Topps Chrome update, but it's not incredibly rare. And at one point, it was outselling the regular Chrome rookie to PSA 10 by I want to say times 5. It was going for 80 to 100 at one point, I think. And now it's back to about 30 to 40 bucks. But you know what? I'll take it. I got 1 9, but I got 2 10s. So, Bellinger's a guy actually that's not incredibly hot right now given his age. It seems that the number one variable in a lot of these players and prospects based on whether or not investors or collectors want to get into them is the age itself, giving them potentially more room to put up cumulative stats that are impressive throughout their career. It's always better if they break out younger and if they start playing younger and if they're in AA at a younger age. C. Wander Franco, C. Ronald Acuna, C. Juan Soto. All right, next up is going to be Pete Alonso. This is from, I think, is it 2019 Series 2? And we got the 10. I broke 1 hobby box of this and 1 jumbo box. Actually did better on the hobby box where we pulled I pulled a Vlad out of it, but not out of the jumbo. We got a Tatis out of the same box. Got a PSA 10 on that, so happy about that. Next up, I think we have a few Rafael Devers. This is probably from, 2018 Topps Update maybe. It's numbered to 50. It's the gold. That's right, update. I wasn't going to get anything better than a 9 on this. Centering, top to bottom, is weak. Multiple corners have white. To be honest, I'm happy that I got the 9. This is a guy that I think is undervalued, so I think he's definitely got more room to climb. Not worth a ton. The inserts aren't really considered true rookies, and that's one that definitely wasn't in the first flagship set where he was featured. But it is numbered, and it is of a guy that plays on the Red Sox that I can watch this year. A couple more Rafael Devers, speaking of the devil. These are his sepia refractors. We got a 10 and a 9. Guys, watch out with the Topps Chrome refractors of the sepia and of the reverse negative variety. It's more difficult to spot the surface scratches. They're just not really that evident. You got to really look at them under multiple angles, under good lighting, and that was probably the case why I missed it with this this one here. And maybe it was a case where I did see the scratch, but I was hoping that it would get overlooked by the graders. All right, next up, this is probably our first banger. This is Juan Soto. I picked up 2 of these shortly after the gallery release, which came out probably around Christmas time, a little over a year ago in 2018. And actually, not Christmas time, more like Thanksgiving time. And autograph, maybe a little bit streaky, but this was a no-brainer on submitting, especially after Soto's postseason and how his prices climbed the second half of August and beyond. And not the best pose of Soto, but it is a rookie autograph. Even though it's a sticker autograph, these are hard to find. And actually, there's a few comps that are well over $200. Pick these up for, I think, an average price of about $90, $95. I had a second one. I submitted it in actually a future submission. Next up is 2014 Topps Update Mookie Betts. This is, I can tell by the edge up here, at first I withheld on submitting this. Picked this up in a trade at the Shriner show that I did in April of 2019. And at first I'm like, oh, this is definite 10. And the more and more I looked at that edge and the way it was cut, I was like, God, I don't know about that. Then I'm like, that's Mookie Betts. Come on. He's underrated. He's 27. He's on a pretty decent market team, being the Red Sox, and hey, he got traded to probably an even better one with the Dodgers, maybe the top 2 one in baseball, based on ratings and stuff like that. So I did get the 10, so I'm happy with this. And shortly after the trade, I think it's not necessarily the fact that he went to a different team or that his opportunity changed, like an Alex Verdugo. It's more about him being featured in the news in a non-negative manner, and I think the effect it's almost like the effect on stocks when a company is being brought up over and over and over. Sometimes the algos kick in and start, initiating those buy orders on certain stocks. Kind of the same thing with baseball. And like Jeter Downs, is he going to start any sooner being on the Red Sox now? Because he's pretty blocked with Chavis and Jackie Bradley being there, but his cards seem to go up right away. Verdugo, I get it, because he went from being a 5th outfielder, potentially a 3rd that could play every day. But Mookie Betts went from a big market to an even bigger market, so it's not a negligible difference. I guess it also means that you have a bigger pocket of fans that have seen him play or will have him seen him play or are excited for him to play and know about him, giving him a little bit more publicity. Next up is 2018 Topps Update. Max Scherzer. Picked this up at a show for 40, maybe $50. I thought it was a solid candidate for a 10. You never know about that population control, though, on some of the older cards of the 80s, of the 90s. A lot more difficult to get a 10. Usually that pop percentage decreases over time as well, even if collectors and submitters are getting more selective with those cards and what they actually submit. But happy to get this 10. That's definitely a fair grade here. It's a solid card, super well centered, nice edges, nice corners. Happy to get that for sure. That's my second Max PSA 10. Next up is the 2013 Topps Update. Got this in the same deal where I got the Topps Chrome Update. You saw the PSA 8 on that. It was part of a package deal at the National, so I'm happy to get this 10. Wasn't positive about it, but the 2013 Topps Update key rookies have actually a pretty high pop percentage if you were to break it down. Card stock's pretty solid, even though it is just paper. Next up, not even sure why I submitted this. We did a Bowman draft jumbo box break with my buddies down in Charlotte back last May or something. Of course, 2016, we also did it with the 2018. And this is, I guess, one of the better cards we hit, sadly. Just a base refractor, Will Craig. First Bowman, he's probably a top 100 prospect, although I don't know at this point, to be honest. Probably not in the top 50, I'll say that. Next up is just another one of these Ronald Acuña's Topps Chrome rookies. Probably a little undervalued, to be honest. I think the fact that the population is lower on the Chrome Update and the pose is, most people would argue it's better on the regular Chrome. It's kind of hurt the value of each because nobody knows what's going to be the one that's preferable in the long term. So until one really pulls away from the pack, I don't think we'll see a noticeable gain on either one. But this one has the nicer pose and just so classic and athletic versus the kind of stationary look of the Chrome Update. So I'll definitely take that. Can't have enough of those PSA 10 Acuna rookies, even if it's a base. Next up is probably the best pull from my jumbo box break. I got 5 autos. This was the best one. Little scratched on the case, so that's unfortunate. I wonder if I caused that, because this was on the bottom. Yeah, so Brendan Rodgers, if Arenado gets traded, he'll have what should be an immediate opportunity to prove himself and get that starting job somewhere in the infield. And this is a guy that's still, I think, like a top 30 prospect by Baseball America as of January 2020. So that's kind of an undervalued card, I believe. Next up is Dollar Box at the National. Made a mistake here. Thought I had a good chance at the 10. As you can see, the centering isn't the best. Corners probably, this set like 68 tops. Sometimes they're deceptively worse than they actually are. It's hard to tell based on the design of the card there. But yeah, that's a PSA 9 of the cheater. Next up, this was something I picked up right after Mojo release. Thought it was really cool. Taylor Trammell has really fallen. He had been a top 20 or 25 prospect. Now he's probably closer to 50 or 60. Got traded to the Padres from the Reds. He's having a hard time hitting the ball, I believe, at AA. And he's got some speed, but he definitely should have a little bit more contact ability than what he's showing right now. But number 25, pretty cool card. Will be available tomorrow in the auction, just like all the rest of these. Another Taylor Trammell pulled out of that 2016 Bowman Draft Jumbo Box Break. This is the Sky Blue Refractor. Not numbered or anything. Next up, Bobby Dahlbeck. I believe he's now a top 50 or 60 prospect. Big power hitter, potentially the future first baseman of the Red Sox, or maybe a left fielder. Not incredibly athletic, but the power is for real. He had some long home runs. He's in AAA right now. On-card autograph. Numbered to 75. I believe this one I could get a pretty good ROI on. Pretty sweet card. Next up is the cheater again. Did not think I'd get a 10 on this. Was hoping for, honestly, a 9. It has some surface thing going on somewhere, I think. Maybe it was missed. I don't know if it's that, but I picked this up in a lot deal at the, or package deal at the National. My effective price for this was $165. I also picked up a Ronald Acuna Bat Down SP in a PSA 9, and that was $135. So as you can imagine, the ROI from this package deal is going to be pretty insane. Nice autograph on this card. Despite everything that Bregman and the Astros are going through, I think of Bregman and Altuve, I'd say Bregman's the closer thing to a hold, where Altuve I probably would have already sold if I had a ton of his stuff, but I did not. Altuve's kind of already had his statistically best season. It actually almost looks like an outlier if you look at all of his seasons back to back. Sure, I mean, not to take away from all of his accolades, because he has been an above-average hitter for quite some time. His overall profile was comprised of not just ability to hit, but also speed, which has been deteriorating a lot, especially over the last 2 or 3 years. Now, Bregman, I really like his approach. K-to-walk ratio, he's a little bit younger, just came off one of his better seasons, his best season, but I think there could be a little bit more in the tank with Bregman, and it's, I don't know, not saying I approve of what he did, but Pete Alonso, this is just his base, came out of that break of the Bowman Draft. Next up is, this is a banger, guys.
Oh, tight, yeah.
Fernando Tatis, action. Picked this up for $50, I think the day after the season-ending back injury. Perfect timing on that. It was actually right when this product was open, but fortunately somebody at the local show that I go to in Woburn, he had just broken a few cases of this, and I wish I had a little bit extra money in my pocket, because he had 2 of these. They both might have gemmed. This was the no-doubter, though. Comps at 250 and above on this, guys. Solid card, solid pose. Next up is just a Topps Chrome Tatis. Probably pulled this out of that jumbo break of 19 Topps Chrome. Next up, 2017 Topps Heritage Minor League Tatis. Got a PSA 10 in this. I think this was the first year that he was featured in Heritage Minor League. It's also in 2018, and this is a glossy. I think it's also a Pop 5. Now, a lot of people don't submit the glossies, but they are pretty difficult to get in a 10 grade, I think. Based on the material of the card, usually the edges and the corners are fairly worn by the time you take them out of packs. Like Heritage of 2018, you're going to see issues with centering as well. Really happy to get this glossy 10 of Tatis. No idea what the value is on that because you don't really see any of the glossy PSA 10s come up. Again, that's a Pop 5. But that will be available in auction, as will this. Luis Robert. This is just his base first Bowman Chrome from the 2018 Bowman Baseball set. And this got the 10. Bought a bunch of these, probably at like $3 or $4 a pop at one point on ComC. I sold them for a very modest gain, and then I had 2 left, so I elected to have those shipped to myself, and I got a 10 on that, and then unfortunately I got a 9 on this one. I thought it looked pretty clean. Probably missed something, I guess. Both of those will be available in tomorrow's auction. Now you see, it's kind of insane how high those prices are. Even on a PSA 9, I think the prices are $30 and up, and on 10s probably closer to 70. Kind of ridiculous, but Vlad Guerrero kind of showed that same pattern with his first Bowmans. Now, this is Jordan Groshans' top 35 or so prospect. He was injured a bit last year. People expect big things from him. He could continue to move up those ranks, top 35 or so. Very nice, pure hitter of the Blue Jays. And I got the 9, which is kind of shitty. Number to 250 purple. Next up, got the little Bible inscription with his autograph. Jake Fraley, just the cleanest first Bowman autograph that I pulled from that break. So the overall 10 percentage, not nearly as good as what we're used to, guys, but took some chances on some cards. I did very well on the mid to high end cards that I submitted, the 5 or 6 bangers. And you know what, I'll take it. And there's the percentage. And hopefully you guys liked what you saw. Like, comment, subscribe. Filmington out.